Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. This is Transfer Hub, your home of Aston Villa's transfer news, links, rumours, noise, murmurings, incomings, outgoings, you name it, you'll find it here on Transfer Hub and Up the Villa. If you are new to our channel, make sure you are subscribing. We are edging very close now to 27,000 subscribers, which is absolutely massive. If you can hit the like button, get involved, goes off like a fan forum every single time. So get involved in the channel, be a part of it. Right. So one little bit of housekeeping before I start. I've launched a new concept each week called Tactical Look. That episode for Newcastle is out. I'll pin it to the end of this episode. I've gone in depth on Newcastle United's system, their strengths, their weaknesses, and I've merged the two teams together and showcased a bit of a tactical game plan. I've also predicted the Villa lineup that I would go with for this game as well. So each week you can expect an in-depth tactical analysis episode on the opposition Aston Villa are going to be playing. Takes quite a lot of time to research, etc. So if you can go over and have a look and give it a little bit of love after this or during the build up to the game week, that would be highly appreciated from myself. So we've got a little bit of a roundup of Villa news of what's going on, but one name now emerging for Aston Villa is Trossard from Arsenal. Now, some of you will know Indy Callier as a news outlet in the past. This window, they have seemingly upped their game. They've been quoted by David Ornstein, and they are bringing pretty decent sources and stories. And so we've got to make this of what we will. So they're saying exclusive Aston Villa make early stage inquiries on Leandro Trossard. Just a few hours ago, they made contact with Arsenal. So we're going to stick with this one to start with, and we're going to go into it. We're going to have a look at everything about Trossard. My initial reaction when I first saw it was not for me. Why I would say that early on, and I can be swayed. I will change an opinion once I've got one. I'm not sort of just down the middle, sort of. I don't want him. That's it. I'm not, and then I'll never say oh, I don't want him. Do you know what I mean? So I will look into things. So it's just the age and the wages for me. I think is the big issue, and I think combining that with Asensio potentially signing as well. You've got Trossard 31 this year. We've got Asensio 29. It just feels like the age profile would have then shifted slightly. And, you know, you look at it different ways. If Unai Emery wants them, then that's fine. If Unai Emery can get the best out of them, then perfect. And if they are here for, you know, Asensio has been rumoured of a 3-year deal. Now, hopefully Emery's here for 3 years. And if he is, hopefully he gets the best out of him. But we've been stung by a bad bit of business before with Dendoncker, Coutinho, Luke Dean worked, but on high wages. So I'll just be a little bit cautious with me thinking that we're going to get Asensio and Trossard. If it was one or the other, then I'd probably feel better about that situation because it's only one set of wages. We know that Asensio is on a lot more than what Trossard's on. So Trossard is on for Arsenal. I think he's on 90 grand a week. Let's just confirm this 90 grand a week. But I'm sure he's on. I'm sure he's on 90 grand a week. Yeah, we can see it here. So Trossard's on 90 grand a week, which actually wouldn't put him as a top bracket Villa earner. Ramsey's on 70, Buendía's on 75. Actually, to be fair, put him on the same as Dendoncker. So, you know, we have got higher earners like Martinez we've got Watkins, we've got Rodgers, we've got Kamara, who are on a lot more money than that. So wages wise, it's okay. If we could get him and bring those wages down, then perfect. But I imagine a contract that he'd want something very, very similar. So that would be probably my overriding issue with someone like Trossard signing, because again, how much would we get him for? I reckon you could get him for around 16 to 20. No resale value, etc. So I like him. I love his output, but the overall package, I would need to have a look at it and be convinced on that aspect of it. But if we look at his overriding numbers, which are something that is very, very impressive, and this would help Aston Villa a lot. So, we go back to 16-17, 3 goals, 1 assist. We're going to touch on Jacob Ramsey in a second, but look at the numbers that he produces. And we go back to 16-17. This was Trossard's numbers he's producing. And it's very similar to Ramsey's numbers. And then we start going into the Brighton area. 5 goals, 3 assists, 5 goals, 5 assists, 8 goals, 3 assists, 8 goals, 12 assists, 17 goals, 2 assists. So numbers very, very high. And then we've got 10 goals, 9 assists, 8 goals, 7 assists in the Premier League last season, 2 goals and 2 assists in the Champions League. So he's heavily producing numbers still, which is mightily impressive. And we've spoke about all pre-season that Aston Villa need goals from all over the pitch. Well, if this player becomes a Ramsey replacement, maybe, we know that the output's there. We know the quality's there. So from that element of it, I start thinking, well, he's producing top level numbers there. So that would help Aston Villa. So you can't really turn your nose up at it, because he's producing the goods, and we can see that. And he's doing it in the Premier League. It's not a player that's coming in that's sort of like, can he do it in the Premier League? He slots straight in. He's a system-based player, and he's not an attacking midfielder. He's not a winger. Again, he fits that mold of being an inside forward. And when you take a look at his actual numbers as a forward, they're absolutely incredible. I mean, I'll quickly whiz through like his numbers as compared to attacking midfielders and wingers. You'll look at this now and it doesn't look great, does it? There's a lot of red. There's nothing popping out. There's nothing standing out. Now, when I switch this now to forwards in the top 5 leagues, we're green. Everything is green in the area that we would want. Passes attempted, top 3%. Progressive passes, top 4%. Progressive carries, top 6%. Successful take-ons, top 10%. And then if we start going down here now, and you'll see some of the actual passing numbers from Trossard here now. Passes completed, top 3%. Everything looks very, very good to me. We go down here. Tackles look decent. So defensive work looks good. Touches, we're getting 45.2 touches per 90. That's in the top 4% of attacking forwards. Progressive carries, top 6%. Carries, and this is very similar to Ramsey's numbers, top 4%. Carrying distance, top 4%. Progressive carrying distance, top 4%. Touches in the defensive penalty area. Touches in the defensive third, top 5%. And then if you have a look at him in sort of like an area of the pitch that's slightly further forward, we can see completed passes in like a medium range, top 2%. So he keeps the ball. He's a ball retainer. He can look after it. He can do elements of what Ramsey can do if that's who he'd be replacing. Assists were in the top 14%. So he's a player that I've always looked at and I've always liked, and I've always thought, you know what, you're like a really good player. So, aerials aren't his strong point. Interceptions are good. Tackles won are good. Ball recoveries, top 5%. Progressive passes received, top 4%. So when I'm looking at these numbers, I actually feel like he would be a player that would actually improve Aston Villa. Now, maybe that's for the short term because of his age. He's 31 in December. So you're not going to get loads of longevity out of him. But maybe just for the here and now, maybe this signing could work for Aston Villa. Main positions on the left, can play as a second striker or a centre forward. So again, that helps. We've got Belgium international, 45, 10 contributions there. He knows Onana. He knows Tielemans. He knows Dendonka. So when I'm looking at this, I actually think, do you know what? He would actually help, but you're not getting the longevity. And I actually feel like if I had to pick one or the other out of Trossard or Asensio, I think someone's asked me this in the comments, and I think I'm now going to say the opposite to what I said. I actually feel like Trossard could be better than Asensio because of the overriding 90 minutes from Trossard. My big reservation with Asensio is on 90 minutes. And yeah, he might be coming off the bench. Okay, fine. But I remember Manchester United away last season. He was non-existent in that game. And that stuck in my mind. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on Asensio, but getting around the pitch is something that would have to improve if Asensio signed for Aston Villa. So those are my thoughts. I want massive contribution. I want massive work rate. And I want end product. So I think I'd probably edge towards Trossard there, to be honest. I think it'd be cheaper than Asensio as well because of Asensio's actual wage. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Trossard. Ramsey developed yesterday. We were hearing that the 40 million, 38 plus 2. But the interesting element is that he was then having a meeting with Villa. I've never really heard that before. A player that's agreed terms with another club then goes back and has another word with his own club. I would take into that Ramsey's been offered a new deal at Aston Villa and he's not took it. From what I'm reading, he wants more money. So I imagine he's gone, spoke to Newcastle, come back and said, this is what they're prepared to offer me. I would prefer to stay. Can you match it? And we've had a conversation. If we've decided that we don't want to match it, then we'll say, you can leave. If we decide to say, actually, we'll keep you and give you a little bit more, will you accept it? If he says yeah, then we'll keep him. That's what I think the situation's like. I think we'd keep him or I think we'd let him go. It's two different things. So those are my thoughts. Regarding the contract and what he might be asking for, seems to be quite unrealistic because he doesn't contribute the numbers required to earn the wage that I think he might think he wants. So that's how I've read into it. That's how I've read into the whole situation. Then we had developments of Bailey to Roma, which is good news, I think. They look like they want to take him on loan, which I know causes a little bit of controversy with wanting players to go. I had a chat with one of my good friends yesterday, and he was saying to me that he thinks that within SCR, if you look like you are being busy and if you are moving players on with an obligation, then you are complying with the rules that UEFA have sort of gave Villa regarding moving players on. So it looks from the outset that we are selling Bailey with an obligation at the end of the loan. That's how it kind of works with their plan of what they've done for Aston Villa to make Villa look like we are complying with them set of rules. So that's how I read into it. I think he's right. So that's all my news, really. Bailey looks like he is in talks with Roma. Ramsey, I imagine we'll find out what's going on in the next couple of days. Why on earth we would sell him before Friday would be wild, because why would we do that? Why would we give an opportunity for him to step out on the pitch in an opposition shirt? So that needs to be stalled until the weekend. And yeah, Trossard, one to keep an eye on maybe. But I'd love to know what you guys think. What are you thinking regarding Trossard? Are you a fan of it? Are you not a fan of it? So let me know. Go back and watch the tactical look episode that I did yesterday. Very, very good. And hopefully they're going to get better and better. Match previews out as well. And later on today, we have got opposition preview with everybody's favourite Geordie. So that's all I'm saying on that. So look out for that one later on today as well. Cheers, everyone, for watching the content. Up the Villa.